everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Joining us, as always, is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the internet, coming to you live from the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. We are so glad you decided to make us a part of your day.
Also here, AMC Movie News Editor, Amy Rose Eisenbach.
Hello, guys. Happy Friday. Lovely to be back.
Also at the table, AMC Movie News Entertainment Correspondent, Aaron Darling.
TGIF and happy awards season ending weekend.
Also here, writer-director, John Schnepp.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I can't wait to play Flappy Bird. Oh, wait, it's not online anymore.
Insidious star Patrick Wilson is the latest addition to join Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas in Edgar Wright's Ant-Man. It is currently unknown, however, who Wilson will be playing. Evangeline Lilly and Michael Pena are also said to be very close to finalizing deals to join the production. John, how do you feel about this casting news for Ant-Man?
I really like it. Look, I'm one of the guys, I'm very excited about the cast they've already announced. Adding a guy like Wilson, I think is a really nice touch. And to me, it feels like he's going to be a really good fit for Paul Rudd. Whether he's a friend, an adversary, whatever, I just see his chemistry working really well with what we know about Ant-Man so far. So look, and I always say this, my underlying philosophy is never a mistake to add talent. This is really great talent. I like the move. Aaron, what do you think?
I am a huge Patrick Wilson fan. Everyone on the internet knows this. I adore him. I think he's so smart, intelligent as an actor, and I think he's so charismatic too. I love seeing everything he's done recently, especially. I think he'd be an amazing addition to this cast. I can't wait to see what kind of role he might potentially play.
Rose?
Yeah, I love Patrick Wilson as well. He's charming. He has an amazing on-screen presence. He's not so bad on the eyes either. I really love him. I think this cast is just really shaping up great. And I do hope that Michael Pena and Evangeline Lilly shake out as well, because then it really is everything I'd hope for this cast.
Schnepp?
Yeah, for me, I'm really happy to hear that he's joining the cast. I mean, he was great as Night Owl and Watchmen in The
really
Conjuring.
was.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you he's got such a versatility. I wouldn't be surprised if they're making him the villain of Ant-Man. I mean, I would love to see him play a darker role, and him as a villain would be fantastic.
We've
so
seen
yeah,
him possessed on the big screen.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what he's going to do. So
Insidious
Ant-Man is just,
a little.
Yep.
Yeah, Ant-Man is just really Insidious too, full-on possession, freak style.
Yeah.
Like almost like a Jack Nicholson Shining moment towards the end.
Super creepy.
These are spoilers, ladies and gentlemen. See Insidious too if you can handle it.
It was deliciously
Yeah.
weird. I
Yeah,
liked it.
super
I
weirdo
loved it.
film. I finally did. I finally saw it. I was like, yeah, you guys were right. It was weird.
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
So Patrick Wilson, bring on the weird. You know.
All right, what's next?
If you were hoping for an Anchorman 3 or a Step Brothers 2 for that matter, you're sadly in for some disappointment, my friends. Director Adam McKay said in a recent interview, "It's done. I think that's it. It was so great to do it, and it was so fun to work with those guys again. But I think that's it for Ron Burgundy. No, that's the last sequel we're going to do. There's nothing more fun to me than new characters and a new world, and now we're releasing this alt version. We're totally satisfied. No Anchorman 3. Amy Rose, how do you feel about McKay's announcement?
I think it's great. You know, of course we want to revisit these characters we love so much, and I thought Anchorman 2 was hilarious. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was everything I wanted the sequel to be. But I agree with McKay. I like new universe and new characters and all of that, and I think they have continuously shown us that they create some amazing, ensembles from the ground up, and they always tend to work with the same people as well. So it's not like we're not going to see them again. We're just going to see some new characters. So I think fresh, original ideas is an amazing move on your part.
Schnepp?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I'm glad that he's going to move forward. I don't think they need to make any more sequels to any of the worlds that they've already built. I'd like to see brand new characters, brand new situations. Just that weird image of them composited together. I want to see a movie like that, all freak style. McKay screaming like some kind of weird gibbon.
puppet master.
Yeah, make that happen.
Master!
Composite Farrell floating around with a fly body. Do it, McKay.
I got to tell you, I'm heartbroken. I am heartbroken. And not because of no Anchorman 3, because I'm with you. I really liked Anchorman 2. Not as good as Anchorman 1, but it was really funny and really entertaining. But by the end of the film, I felt like It's done now. It's played out. I think now the shtick would just feel a little tired if they tried to do more. So I'm fine with that. But the part that breaks my heart is the suggestion in this is that it's not only no Anchorman 3, it sounds like no Step Brothers 2. And that makes me want to go on a hunger strike. I love Step Brothers so much. And I know some people who were born with that very rare birth defect where they were born without a sense of humor, did not like Step Brothers. Step Brothers is magnificent. I want more Step Brothers. Please reconsider about Step Brothers. But I mean, everything else he said makes a lot of sense, and it's really good to hear that they want to move forward with new stuff. No Anchorman 3 is fine, but I want another Step Brothers. Anyway, Erin, how do you see it?
Surprisingly, I'm very okay with this news. I enjoyed those movies, but I'm glad that we're going to move on and go on to other endeavors, especially for them. They're such a creative, amazing dream team together, and all the people they bring to their projects are so talented that I have confidence that if they move on and create new properties, they'll still be just as enjoyable. And I also want to see Anchorman in theater. I think that we need to bring this musical style. I know it was originally intended, and they were trying to workshop a musical version for the sequel,
Right.
and I think that would be awesome to see, especially with the success of Book of Mormon. I'd love for them to go bring this to Broadway.
That would be interesting. All right, folks, we reached that part of the show called Buy and Sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, then Schnepp, Amy Rose, Erin, and myself are going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
The Muppets are back for the sequel, The Muppets Most Wanted. And now a new trailer has been released, which features a song and dance number about sequels. Schnepp, buy or sell this new Muppets trailer?
Enthusiastically buying this Muppets trailer. I was laughing out loud just watching it earlier this morning. Fantastic. And I'm one of the people who wasn't a big fan of this new Muppets reboot that came out 2 years ago. So with, not being that much into it, I was like, they're making another Muppets movie. I'll watch the old Muppets movie. Thanks. And then I saw this trailer. I was like, I'm going to go see this movie with a brand new, excited kind of take on it, because it just felt like they recaptured what I loved about the Muppets in this new trailer and what this movie's going to be like. So I'm really a full-on excited buy. So.
Enthusiastic buy as well. It's so clever what they did here, talking about sequels, how they're usually not as good, but they'll try their best with a half-decent script, and it was just so clever. And I got a little drum solo from my man Animal.
Yeah.
So I'm in. The Muppets are so charming. I actually did enjoy the first film, but I think this looks like it's going to be even better. Tina Fey, Ty Burrell, Ricky Gervais. I mean, I'm in.
Yeah, I got to buy this too. I actually loved the most previous recent Muppet film. I thought it was really charming and entertaining. And I've been worried about this new Muppets movie. I've been worried about it. My fears have been completely resolved, though. I mean, this shows me this little trailer talking about until we can get Tom Hanks to do Toy Story 4. I mean, it's amazing. It captured everything I wanted it to capture. If this trailer is a true sense of the levity and the kind of the temperature they're going to approach this movie with, it's knocked out of the park. I loved it. I was entertained, and that's just the trailer.
I know,
so
right?
yeah, for me, it's a buy. Erin?
I love self-aware movies. I love comedies that know what they are and not afraid to say it. And that's exactly what this trailer did for me. Really instilled a lot of confidence that that's what we're going to get. And really, can we be honest here? Miss Piggy has never looked better in the marketing material.
She went on a diet.
She went on,
I think she got some work done. I
It's a
mean,
low-carb diet thing.
wow.
What
Her
was that?
outfit, her wardrobe, those lashes, girl.
I was just going to say that very weird moment at the end where Kermit's sitting and looking at himself on TV. I was like, what is this, like a David Lynch Muppets moment? It's a freak out. I was like, I want to know what that's about,
Okay, what's next?
After the immense success of the Lego Movie, Warner Brothers and producer Roy Lee have announced they're adapting a film from the popular building blocks video game Minecraft. The game is described as being about breaking and placing blocks. At first, people built structures to protect against nocturnal monsters, but as the game grew, players worked together to create wonderful, imaginative things. Erin, buy or sell a Minecraft film?
You know what, I feel really conflicted about this because I feel as if Minecraft is a really terrible game if you're an adult, entertaining if you're a kid, but a fascinating game because of its immense popularity. And when I look at this, I want to say, you can't make a movie based on building blocks and stacking things together, but we just got the Lego Movie and it was amazing. So I don't know how I feel about this. My initial gut feeling is to sell it, but I think I'm going to buy it and give it a chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it and give it a chance too. I mean, you're right. The whole movie based on building blocks. Lego worked, and so therefore there you go. And I actually know a couple friends of mine who play Minecraft, and they swear by it. They love it. So I've never played it myself. I think this week I'm gonna download it and start giving it a shot and see what all the fuss is about. But you know, Warner Brothers, they just proved they can take the simplest concept. As long as you build a charming story into it, it almost doesn't matter what your medium is. So I'll give it a shot. Why not? I give it a buy.
Just get Chris Miller and Phil Lord to do it again, and let's call it a day. Yeah, I will also buy it because the Lego movie was so charming and clever and creative, and Warner Brothers obviously has a formula, very strategic on their part, but Schnepp and I actually just created a Minecraft movie right here.
I buy. I'm in.
I'm gonna soul crush this. I'm totally selling it. Like, Minecraft is stupid. I don't care if 10 billion people play it. I'm not playing it. I've messed around with it. I don't like the game. It's a bunch of weird cubes moving things around. It's different than Lego. Lego has its own universe and all these different really cool things that they've built over 20, 30 years now. Maybe 40 years. It's a giant empire of weird building blocks. And Minecraft is these weird square heads with bizarro 8-bit swords. I'm glad kids dig it. It's just for me, like, to hear, wow, a Minecraft movie? Zero excitement. Zero. So I sell it.
All right, what's next?
Following the recent news about Mark Webb directing The Amazing Spider-Man 3, it's now being reported that he will also direct the spy thriller Cold Comfort. Adapted from the book How to Catch a Russian Spy, the story is based on a true story. John, buy or sell Webb directing Cold Comfort?
The only thing that makes me a little bit concerned about that, I'm going to sell it, not because I don't think the project doesn't sound good, it does. Not because I don't like the idea of Webb, who I just said the other day, it would be good for him to move on to new types of projects. The reason I'm going to sell it is, what does this mean for the Spider-Man franchise? When are they looking at making this? Because if he's already on board for Spider-Man 3, you know they're going to have to get moving on that almost immediately. So does he start working, is Cold Comfort something that's going to come and like start shooting in 2016? I mean, what's the timeline in this? It muddies the water a bit. So until we get a clear picture of what schedules are and when they're looking at making this film, for me it's going to be a sell. Amy Rose?
I'm going to buy it because I do think that, I mean, Mark Webb has proven he can really do any genre now. He can do comedy, he can do everything, and I really like what he's doing and with the Spider-Man franchise. But we know that Sony would never, ever take that property, lightly. And so obviously he's probably locked, his soul is locked down with that. So I'm not really worried that anything's going to be missing or given up for that production, for this. And there's also no release date attached to this yet. So it might be a couple years down the road, we have no idea. But I am a sucker for spy thrillers, like that's really my thing. And I think he would do a pretty good job. So for now, I'm interested.
Schnepp?
I'm going to buy it. I mean, giving a director a chance to take a breath and do something different, I'd bet your bottom dollar that he's going to shoot this in the next 2 months.
You think?
I think he's going to shoot this before Spider-Man 3 because they're like, look, man, here's like a smaller movie. Maybe this might not be a giant spy movie like a Mission Impossible. This could just be like, intrigue and really easy to shoot and just fun. So that's my guess, and that's why I'm going to buy it. Like a lot of directors, they'd be like, here's one for you, here's one for us, here's one for you, here's one for us.
My back.
So I think that's what this probably is.
And Christopher Nolan did that kind of an approach.
Exactly.
Remember, he did Batman Begins, and he did
Inception.
Well, after Batman Begins, he did The Prestige, I think. Then he did The Dark Knight. Then he did
Inception.
Was Inception before Dark Knight Rises? Then he did. So I mean,
Keeps them fresh.
It keeps them fresh.
Yeah.
But they hadn't already announced their next 5 Batman film plans prior to that film coming out, with Christopher Nolan announcing other movies he's going to do. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out, but you're right. There is a precedence that this can work and be really good for
And
it.
also they're giving the Spider-Man franchise, they want to have a movie come out every year, but they're not saying it's a Spider-Man movie. They're going to be like, hey, here's a Venom or a Sinister Six. So every 2 years there'll be a Spider-Man movie, and that's a big breath, especially for... He's been done with Spider-Man 2 for like 8 months as far as shooting. They've been just in post.
Right.
And different directors with the Venom and other films as well.
Well, Aaron, how do you see
that's
this?
not confirmed yet.
Yeah, potentially.
I'm going to sell it for that reason because I feel that with his involvement in the 3rd movie, possibly the 4th, which hasn't been announced yet, and the additional sequels and spin-offs that are happening, I mean, from when the press release came out from Sony, it made it really sound like he, as well with the producers, were going to really have their hands on these projects and be really involved, creating storylines, maybe possibly directing. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't know how he's going to be able to balance these projects at the same time, because there's such a huge slate coming out with Sony, and I think he's really important to them right now. I think they really trust him, and I think that the Spider-Man franchise right now is in pretty good hands. All signs indicate that, so I'm going to have to sell this one.
Just please leave emo Peter Parker out
Yes,
of the
and we'll be fine.
That's
And
all
then
I
we'll be
ask.
fine.
That's all I ask.
All right, what's next?
In a recent interview, Jeff Goldblum revealed that he has been in conversation with Roland Emmerich and team to return for Independence Day 2. He also stated, however, that he has not been approached to return for Jurassic World and that he is happy with the first 2 films he did with that franchise. Amy Rose, buy or sell this Goldblum news?
I kind of want to split it and buy the Independence Day because he was great in that film. If we're not getting Will Smith, Goldblum and Pullman have to be there. But I loved him in the first Jurassic Park films. I know he wasn't in the third, but I don't really count that as part of the franchise anyway. And I think that would have been cool, even just a little cameo to be there at the park or something. Like, I think that would have been great. So I'm a little disappointed, but my man Pratt, I think, has it handled. So I'm still really excited about it.
I'm going to sell this, even though I'm happy he's returning for Independence Day 2. Let's face it, Will Smith was not the main character of Independence Day 2. The main character was Jeff Goldblum's character. And so I think he has to be there. So I'm happy with that, but I am so dismayed. And look, I think we've known he wasn't going to be in the next Jurassic Park film. I think we've known that. But I love that character so much. So much. I was really hoping he'd be there. Look, I trust what they're doing with it. I'm sure it's going to be wonderful on its own. But there was this little small spark of hope in me that maybe he would pop up in that. So just because I'm a little sad, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm sad. So because I'm sad, I'm gonna sell it. Schnepp.
I'm going to buy it. I'm happy to hear that he's part of Independence Day. It just made me want to see Independence Day just a little bit more now.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to see it at all. And now that I know Goldblum's going to be in there, maybe he's going to be like taking over the dad role that Judd Hirsch was kind of to him. So I don't even know
maybe
if
he's
they're
got a son in it now.
Judd Hirsch, maybe they bring them all together. All 3 of them have a weird thing that they insert into the aliens device. We brought back the floppy disk, and I know the floppy's not in it.
They're going to upload Flappy Bird.
Yeah, Flappy
on the
Bird.
floppy disk.
Yeah.
Your dream has been realized.
Yeah. So I buy it. I think Goldblum can do no wrong. So,
Aaron?
I guess I'm going to buy it or sell it, possibly, because it's kind of like a 2-part question.
Definitely.
Basically, to sum up the way I feel about this, all Goldblum, all the time. I love him. I think he's talented and a little bit crazy, but it's always entertaining to watch. So I like to see him in everything, and I want him to return to these franchises.
Have you seen Jeff Goldblum in The League? The League, the TV show
No.
about the fantasy football. Oh my gosh, he plays one of the characters' dads, and he's so good in that. But
That
anyway,
show is fantastic.
The League is awesome if you haven't seen it. So good. All right, folks, we've reached that part of the show for Mailbag. But listen, we do this show live streaming every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're watching us live right now and you got some questions you want to ask, you can tweet them to us right now. Tweet them to @AMC Movie News. And when we get to the end of the show, we always leave a few minutes for live tweets, and Ashley will pick a few out. But for now, we got some mailbag questions. Look, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to bring up on the show, email us anytime, 24/7 at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Right now, Ashley's got a mail pulled out of the mailbag. So, Ashley, what do we have?
Kyle Kazoo writes, what are some of your favorite performances in a drama by an actor that usually does comedies?
Well, I think the best example of this, maybe of all time, is probably, look, a lot of people today think of Tom Hanks and they think of dramatic, constantly Oscar-nominated, blah, blah, blah. We forget he was just known as a comedy guy for almost all of his career, and then Philadelphia came. And he did Philadelphia, and suddenly he's the dramatic, huge dramatic performance, and he's the Academy Award winner, and that changed everything for him. So obviously, we've had some Jim Carrey performances and others, but to me, the big standout is the Tom Hanks in Philadelphia one. Schnepp, what about you?
Yeah, I was going to mention, that popped up, but Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, to me, was the moment that I started to take Jim Carrey seriously as a real actor. Like, I know he'd done a couple other films that were like he was trying to be a serious actor.
Like
but
Truman Show.
Yeah, Truman Show, but he still had that kind of rubber face stuff.
Yeah.
With this movie, it was like an emotionally destructive film for me to see, having been in relationships as well. Just like it's such an incredible film, and that he brought so much to it, along with Kate Winslet. And it's still one of the best films. I could watch it again. I usually watch it every 2 years. It's such an amazing film.
So good.
So for me, it's Jim Carrey.
Amy Rose?
The first one that came to mind was Robin Williams' Dead Poets Society.
Oh,
Because he was doing all these comedies, and then My Captain, oh my goodness, that film is so incredible. And then more recently, I thought of Steve Carell in The Way, Way Back. He was mean in that film. I didn't even know he was capable of that. So that definitely showed a very
And he's got that
different
one
side.
coming up with Channing Tatum and Mark Ruffalo as well, where he plays the wrestling coach. It's based on the true story. I can't remember the name of the film
They
right now.
pushed it back?
They pushed it
Yeah.
back into 2014.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see that. What do you think?
Actually, mine were both mentioned by you guys at this table. Jim Carrey and Robin Williams is one of my favorite actors of all time for his ability to be able to play both sides, a really strong comedic talent. At the same time, he can make you cry. So I love that ability in an actor, and he nails it.
You know, no one talks about it anymore, but Jim Carrey's performance as Andy Kaufman,
Oh, of
yeah.
I
course.
thought
That's
was
another
really
one.
man on
Good.
man.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a really, really good one. I
Really
like
good.
that one a lot. All right, folks. Well, we've got a few minutes left in the show, so we're going to turn to the Twitter stream and take your questions live. Ashley is the gatekeeper today. You got to kiss up to her to get your question on the air. So, Ashley, what is in the Twitter stream?
Anaz Khan writes, can it be possible to see a Harry Potter reboot?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
I'll answer this one. No.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
Now, should they do it, and will they do it? Are two very different questions in Hollywood. Should they do it? No. Will they do it? Eventually, yes. Unless she breaks her, commitment to get back into the Harry Potter. Look, we already know she's kind of dabbling back in the Harry Potter universe because they got the movie version of whatever the textbook was.
Mystical Beasts and Where to Find Them or
Mystical
something?
Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah.
Sounds like some kind of strange S&M thing. But anyway, so they're doing that. That happens like 40 years or 50 years before the events of Harry Potter. So she's already going back to the universe. It wouldn't shock me if in the next 5 years we see the continuing stories of Harry Potter after they leave Hogwarts. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But and if they don't do that, then I think a reboot is probably less than 10 years away, as a matter of fact. Amy Rose?
It feels way too soon for that
It does.
dialogue anyway, and I am glad that she is continuing more original ideas. I think that's actually a pretty cool concept to build off the textbook she created in this film and make it this other fantastical adventure. So I think that's the better approach than just rebooting this.
Schnepp?
Yeah, I mean, if Lucas can do it and we're like getting Hamill back in the Jedi robes, I'm saying like Radcliffe, get that wand, son. In like 30 years, she's gonna be typing like, I changed my mind. Why not? I'd much rather see a sequel with the older group of those characters who we saw as kids, and then they're teaching a new group of wizards. That would be fantastic. I do not want to see a reboot, especially 8 movies with Voldemort in them. It's like we already
here's the
know
thing,
what
too.
happens. It's like,
I have to imagine at some point she's probably sitting in her living room in London or wherever
one of
she
her
lives
many
now.
living rooms.
Swimming in hash.
And at some point she goes, hey, remember when every day 3 dump trucks filled with gold bullion would back up on my driveway and dump it out on my lawn? That was fun. And then she decides to write another one. I could sort of see that happening.
No, but it's like instead of just 2 dump trucks, which are constantly happening forever, that's what's going on with her now. So I don't really doubt it's money.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I imagine her lair looking like Smaug's lair.
That's right.
And she's just slithering around all in gold all day.
She's all the way down there. You're like sliding down gold bullions to go visit her. And on the 4th level,
God.
sliding. Yeah.
Aaron?
I don't think anything ever gets old about just receiving money for not doing
Yeah.
any work, which is
That's
essentially
the dream.
the position that she is in right now. She is still receiving money for her work that she's already done. So I think at this point, it's all about her passion projects. Unless she feels extremely passionate about returning and rebooting this franchise, which I really hope she doesn't, I think we're cool. We're good on this one, internet.
I want to buy human pets. I need some more money. All right. Anyway, what's next?
Oh dear.
Andre Scott writes, love the show, guys. I was kind of wondering if there have been any further developments on Bourne 5.
There was a lot of speculation going around that the next Bourne would have Matt Damon in it. Then there was speculation that, hey, it actually might be Matt Damon and
Jeremy
Renner together. From what I understand, they are moving forward with Bourne 5, but it's just going to be Jeremy Renner. So there were some whispers that it could be Renner and Bourne, which actually had me excited. But from what I understand, and maybe something else has come out that I'm not aware of, but from what I understand, they are trying to move ahead with the next Bourne film, but it's just going to be Renner.
And Matt Damon has gone on record many a time saying if Paul Greengrass is not back to direct, I'm not doing it.
And if
Paul
he is,
Greengrass
I'm
not
in.
coming.
Right.
Yeah, and honestly, like I thought the Bourne Legacy was quite a disappointment. I loved Matt Damon in that role, but I didn't find the Alex storyline, and it was no fault of Jeremy Renner. He's a really great action star and a great actor at that, but it didn't hit for me like the other films did. So I would be interested again if Damon somehow they could lock him in, because I think those two overlapping storylines would be really interesting.
I differ. I actually love the first 3 Bourne movies and felt like it was a final knot on the trilogy, so to speak. And then when they brought in a 4th one with Renner, but he was also part of that same program, I dug it. I really actually liked had a different flavor to it because obviously it wasn't Greengrass, but it was a fun new, almost like a new reboot of the same kind of idea of these spies and built-in assassins having to take their pills and all this other stuff. So I could definitely see a 5th one with Renner and then a 6th one, bring Greengrass back in and Damon and have it like wrap up, the 3rd trilogy, but with like a pretty. You could make a 6th film, what would that be, a 6-tuplet? What would you
But
call
here's
it?
the funny thing, though, when you watch that movie, and I'm kind of with you in the sense that I didn't think the Jeremy Renner Bourne film was nearly as bad as a lot of people. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I kind of enjoyed it. But here's the thing. I was shocked, because I think when they sat down in their writer rooms and they said, okay, we have to squeeze in as many references to Jason Bourne as possible. Because when you watch the trailer, they said Jason Bourne's name like 8 times in the trailer. Jason Bourne, Jason Bourne, Jason Bourne,
he's
Jason
not even
Bourne.
in it.
And he's not even there, but they referenced as many times, recycled as much footage as they could to see, this is a Jason Bourne movie, everybody, which might actually not have been a bad marketing ploy, but it was a little deceptive in some ways.
Quite.
Aaron, would you be up for this?
I'd be up for it with the 3-part equation of the Greengrass, the Renner, and the Damon all coming back, but otherwise, not too excited about it.
All right, let's get rapid fire through a few more here.
Tyler Clark writes, "Hey guys, love the show, it rocks. I was wondering, what was your first R-rated film?"
Oh, first R-rated film that I didn't find hidden in my dad's drawer. Well, I don't know, Schnepp, what about you? I don't think about this for a
Mine
second.
is, for comedy, it was Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and for sci-fi, it was Alien. So those two were my first R-rated in the theater experiences. My dad took me to see Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I'm pretty sure that's R-rated.
Is it?
I think my first one was definitely at home. It might have been Alien, actually. Now that you mention it, it might have been Alien for me. What about you guys? Can you think of it off the top of your head?
I'm not good with remembering ratings, but 2 movies that I know one of them for sure is R and the other one possibly. My parents would let me watch movies with them at home a lot, and one of the first ones I remember is My Left Foot, Daniel Day-Lewis, which is fantastic. Another one being The English Patient. I remember watching that.
Is that R?
There's
think
some
that's
boobs. I'm pretty sure.
There's some boobs.
Pretty sure.
I think you can get away with some boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember one of the
solo
first
boob.
ones.
one.
Okay, well, let's keep things moving. Let's go on to the next
Is
question.
Monkey Shines rated R? Because
Yeah,
that was one of
that is
my
rated R.
first scary films that I was introduced, and I was terrified of monkeys. So success.
Okay, what's next?
William Parcell writes, "With the success of superhero films, why do you think we haven't seen an Incredibles 2 yet?"
Oh, well, we get asked questions about Incredibles 2
All
all
the
the time.
time.
I have no idea. No idea. How the brain trust at Pixar, who are a very smart collection of people, think, let's do Cars 2 and not do Incredibles 2. Let's do Monsters U, which I liked, and no Incredibles 2. What is the holdup?
Yeah.
I mean, I know like, at least once a month I have to rant on this, but folks, what is the holdup?
Yeah.
Even people in this world who hate the idea of any sequels of any kind, even they want Incredibles 2.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I was just watching a Toyota commercial yesterday, and they have Coach on it. I forget the actor's name off the top of my head.
Right.
There's a Toyota commercial, Coach is there, and once again, I'm like, hearing him speak, I just close my eyes and pretend it's Mr. Incredible speaking. I want this movie so bad. Everybody does. It's going to make money. It's going to make money. Everybody wants it. What's the problem? I'm sorry. Anyway, what's
Hey, a Veronica Mars movie happened because there was enough demand, so let's demand Incredibles 2.
They're making a Planes
Power
3.
ours, I
You know,
know.
what's what Pixar? I think it's maybe they have some kind of deal with Brad Bird where they're like, look, we won't make an Incredibles 2 unless you're attached.
Then somebody grab
Yeah,
Brad Bird by the throat,
steal him
Whoa,
away
whoa,
and force him.
Oh, wow.
pin him
Yeah.
down in a chair at
It is-
Pixar, duct tape his wrist to the thing, put toothpicks under his eyes, and say, "You ain't moving until we have Incredibles
It
2."
is getting a little creepy in here. Let's go to the next question.
What's next?
On that note, Louise Zapata writes, why aren't there a lot of soccer movies? It's the most popular sport in the world.
Because it's not the most popular sport here. I mean, that is one of the ways that North America is a little out of step with the rest of the world. I mean, we're a little out of step with the rest of the world in general in a lot of things, but soccer is clearly one of the biggest things because it is maddening popular everywhere. It is the sport. I mean, we can talk about the four majors and this and this. No, there's one sport in the world, and it's soccer. But it's just not that big here. And until it's that big here, you're probably not going to see that change.
You know what? It would be big here if they just called it what they call it everywhere else,
Not
which
football.
is football.
Yeah.
If they called it football here, all of a sudden Americans would be like, it's a different kind of football? I'll watch that. It's people kicking a ball.
If they had a way to make it into a drinking game, I think it'd be more popular.
Always,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of soccer movies now. Bend It Like Beckham was a good
The one
one.
with Gerard Butler when he played the rom-com, I think.
Ladybugs.
I was going to say Ladybugs.
Ladybugs. Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, not
That's-
a great try. Well, Sylvester Stallone did a soccer film.
What?
No, that was the arm wrestling one, Over the Top.
Wait a
I
second.
can't imagine
He didn't do
Stallone doing
Stallone
a
doing
soccer,
a soccer
film.
movie?
If this
I
is
don't
real,
remember that
I need
either.
to be informed.
This
Okay,
is
wait a second. I got to look this up.
This is a fever dream from John
Wait a
Campion,
minute.
ladies and gentlemen.
Victory, yes. Sylvester
What?
Stallone did a soccer film called Victory.
1981.
Unbelievable.
In 1981. See
1981.
how
Mind
I
blown.
read these things? But yeah, you're right. There should be more. It's a great sport, but until it's more popular, it's not going to
Football.
happen. All right, what's
Football.
next?
WSL writes, question, what was the most influential movie from your childhood?
My obvious answer is obvious, so I'll let you guys answer that first.
Yeah, well, mine's the same as yours, dude. I mean, I could go back a little bit and say, like, Logan's Run, but it's not true. Star Wars was the
Star
one that
Wars.
just flipped my lid and turned. I was already into, like, comic books with Fantastic Four and sci-fi. I was, like, into monster movies, and Star Wars just put it all together into one film and just...
Star Wars made me
Changed
realize
me.
what was possible with this film world, and I'm actually really proud to report that I told you I was exposing my 5-year-old nephew to all this. Started with New Hope, showed him the prequels, and he hates Jar Jar Binks. So I did
Good
young
lad.
Padawan. I taught you well. His
Lisa
favorite
Happy.
is Yoda. So yeah, and another film that really influenced me was Casablanca. Really big one at a young age.
Mine was Wizard of Oz. I've seen that movie more than I've seen any other film. I grew up watching it basically on repeat, and I'm kind of a musical nerd. I like Singing in the Rain a lot too.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Singing in
Singing in
the
the
Rain.
Rain.
Classic, yeah.
But yeah,
so-
Star Wars for me, I mean, I've told the story before, earliest childhood memory, my mom taking me to see Star Wars. My first pet was a cat named Luke Skywalker. But it literally, without exaggeration, it literally set the directional path for my life. Like everything that after that point, I wanted to be involved in stuff that was creative and be involved in movies in some way my whole life. And in many ways, Star Wars shaped my life. As sad as that sounds, it really, really
actually,
did.
it's not sad because
Yeah.
for a lot of people, for me, it got me into wanting to learn about special effects. How did they make those ships? Just at a very young age, it got me into filmmaking and animation and all these things that up until that point were just like, oh, I like watching these things, and I saw them all as separate. And then it made me actually think about, wow, how does Ray Harryhausen make animated stuff? It made me think about stop motion. It was the opening of the Pandora's box of
Totally.
all these amazing things.
For my writing too, of what's possible, how rich these worlds and your imagination can go. So yeah.
And as a young boy, I realized girls really dig guys who know their Star Wars stuff. Okay, maybe not so much. All right, let's take two more and then we'll call it a day.
Templeton Tisdale writes, do you think a standalone Flash film will have the same tone as the Amazing Spider-Man film?
Well, I'm still not sure we're going to get a standalone Flash film. I think a lot will depend on how the TV series goes, and if the TV pilot even gets turned into a series. I mean, there's a Flash TV pilot that's been ordered, but it hasn't been ordered for series yet. So we'll see how that unfolds. But if it does, I could see it being more lighthearted tone and stuff like that, because that's the way they kind of play them. You guys, any other thoughts?
I think it's too soon to tell. We got to see a script or know who is attached to the project to get a better feel of what they're going for.
Yeah, if David Fincher gets attached to a Flash film, it's not going to feel like Spider-Man.
But I would totally see that.
Would it be part of the same universe? It's like it's a strange, dark, electrical universe which has nothing to do with the Justice League. You know.
Fight Club Flash. Boom.
Flash Club.
Flash Club. Flash Club. You're at hashtag Flash Club. It's going to trend worldwide. Okay, let's take one more.
The amazing Marcus writes, hey guys, love you all so much. My question is, did any of you like Cloud Atlas? I thought it was the best movie of the decade.
I love Cloud Atlas. You guys, I seriously did. I love that movie. I thought it was imaginative and creative, and I was a big fan of the performances. I know a lot of people had problems with the accents and the dialogue and the weird futuristic makeup. I was on board for all of it. I left that theater feelings that I haven't felt in a long time after seeing a movie. I was just filled with wonder. And I thought that I was a part of something really cool leaving the theater.
Yeah, that movie sucks.
I loved it!
Well, no, you know what? I actually don't feel that way about it. But I was disappointed by it. It is one of those beautifully divisive films. It's one of those films where it will really depend on who you are when you watch it, because it will really appeal to some people and it will just not work for others. And I was one of the people that it didn't necessarily work for. I appreciate the artistic tone that they were going for and all that kind of stuff, but by the end when I walked out, I'm like, that didn't really make much of an impact on me. I understood it all.
Yeah.
Some people say, oh, you just didn't get it. No, I got it, and it just didn't work for me, but I'm very happy it worked for a lot of other people. Schnepp, what do you think of it?
I would say the extended trailer that they released before I saw the movie, I was like, wow, that extended trailer really emotionally moved me, and I can't wait to see this movie. And then a lot of reviews and a lot of friends of mine really loved it. When I saw it, which was really I think it was the second day that it opened, I really wanted to see it. It's 5 movies, 5 mini movies.
Yeah.
And out of those 5, I loved 2 of them and hated the other 3. So 2/5 of the film I loved, and the 3/5 of it I hated. So it was the 2 futuristic segments that I really dug, and I would have loved to have seen just those elements as in their own separate storylines. But the way they wrapped the music and the Cloud Atlas storyline, just really did not like it. And the makeup alone was pulled me out of the film. Is that Halle Berry in a strange, weird clay face?
loved
some of the
that.
makeup was so horrible.
A lot of
Yes.
people did.
It was laughable.
We obviously watched the same movie because that exact sentiments. 2 of them I thought were really cool, and I would have liked the whole movie to revolve around those 2. And they were trying to be all clever and weave it all together, and I didn't feel like it really worked. And I didn't hate it by any means, and I can appreciate the cinematography and a lot of elements, but I was disappointed for sure.
Well, all right, folks, that'll do for us. We are all out of time for today, but thank you so much for joining us. Listen, don't forget, lots of great films playing in AMC theaters right now. Head on over to www.amc theaters for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. Don't forget, if you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video, and you'll find links to our Stitcher Radio and our iTunes, so you can listen to us on the way to work. I want to thank those sitting at the table with me. First of all, sitting to my left, our entertainment correspondent, Miss Erin Darling. Erin, where can people find you online?
Twitter, Erin A. Darling, Facebook, Erin Darling fan page, YouTube, Erin Ashley D. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys.
Our movie news editor, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose, where can people find you?
On Twitter at Amy Rosie. Enjoy the Oscars.
Writer-director, Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you?
You find me on Instagram and at Twitter, just John Schnepp. I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Inside joke for those of you who weren't here before we start shooting. And of course, our lovely host today, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Ashley Mova. Happy Friday, hey!
And you can find me on the various social media channels at John Campia. And listen, the Oscars are this weekend. A few of us, including myself, will be live tweeting during the Oscars. So if you're not following me on Twitter, just follow me at John Campia on Twitter. And I'm just going to be tweeting like a fool. I think most of us probably will be as well. So make sure you follow us there. So, until next time, my name's John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until then, bye-bye.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news, and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.